Our second period intermission is Blogger's Blurb. We have Josh Lockhart, the Dynamiter blogger, to come and talk about the Dynamiters, the league, and tonight's game specifically. Let's start off with tonight's hockey game.
Okay.
Your thoughts?
I'm loving it.
It's been an exciting game. There's no question about it.
It's been exciting. There's still that chippy part because we've had 2 players kicked out of the game for hits from behind, which
I think the referee has been,
I think, overly vigilant to keep a lid on things.
Well, I think he's done that with the 2 penalties, and they were both marginal. He could easily have called both of them boarding.
Yeah.
Both of them could very well be penalties, but he called them both checking from behind, 1 for each team.
Yeah.
But he's missed a lot of other calls that were happening right in front of him. The one specifically I can recall is Russell had the puck at the blue line, was skating in towards the net. He was hauled down right in front of the referee, and there was no call on that. I didn't understand that. But having said that, the Dynamiters exploded, pun intended, in that second period with 4 goals.
Yes, and it's been really interesting how they've relied on almost like these kind of cross-crease plays to beat Fonger. One was bouncing from on the backboards, and the other one being a cross-crease pass. So that seems to be their go-to right now to beat them.
You get a goalie going side to side, you got a better chance of scoring rather than having set to have the shot. Yeah. Although Russell's goal at the end, I'm not sure how that went in, but and I'm sure Fonger would like to have that one back.
A leak sprung somewhere in him. You could tell. I was as surprised as I think I'm sure he was more surprised than me, but that I didn't expect that. There was all of a sudden a hole in him, and
he's arguably the best goaler in the division. Now we have a couple of really good goaltenders with Anderson and Anderson.
Yeah. I think carries more of a workload. I think I'll agree with because the Andersons can
Well, Anderson's going to be in goal every night.
Yeah.
It's just a question if it's going to be Brett or Adam. And tonight I thought Brett has played very well. He's only had 13 shots to contend with, but a couple of them have been good scoring chances, and he's been steady.
And I wonder if freshness has something to do with it, because I do believe Fonger played last night for Fernie. And you go into double overtime. I know most goalies play 2 games in a weekend. I get it. But there's something else to playing games during the holiday break and when there's this kind of level of intensity that there's a little bit more focus and needing to be present that draws your energy more than maybe some other games.
I think more than that, and I didn't see anything that looked like it was a fatigue goal. What I saw is a lot of domination by the Dynamiters in that second period. I thought I think they were the better team in the first period, and it was kind of unfortunate they came away with a 1-0 deficit. But they stepped it up another pace, and I thought they dominated that second period. And the shots on goal, 16 to 8, were the shots on goal in that second period, is indicative of the play in that period.
Yeah, and the Ghost Riders really missed out on that 5-on-3 opportunity to really take to just take the game that much further away.
And that was in the first period where they did come out at 1-0, but could easily have come out 2 or 3-0 in that period because of those penalties. Yeah. But the Dynamiters' PK has been excellent, and they've been getting to the pucks first, whether it's on the PK or 5-on-5. The Dynamiters seem more willing to get to the puck first than the Riders.
At this point, I agree.
And a lot of, I think, panic in the defensive zone by the Riders, just kind of getting the puck and getting rid of it. Because the Dynamiters, one thing I've seen tonight quite a bit is their physical play. Mm-hmm. They're bumping people. Nothing seriously hard, but Risden set the tone early in that first period when he did actually have a significantly big hit. And I don't know if it was on Neems in that period, but a big hit kind of got the crowd aroused, and from then I think the Dynamiters kind of controlled.
Yeah, it says hit or be hit type philosophy, and the Dynamiters are choosing to deliver the hits.
They want to be the gift giver than the gift receiver.
For right now, yes.
Well, next thing I want to do is wish you a happy New Year. It's been a while since we've had a chance to chat.
It has.
And your thoughts over the Christmas holidays and the showcase.
The showcase. Well, it was an adventure going on the team bus down to the showcase.
Okay.
So I was able to see 2 days worth there. I don't think attendance was quite as high as they had hoped or expected, but it definitely there was kind of an excitement to having scouts there and media representatives from all over the league there. So it was still fun. It was still really exciting, and the Dynamiters dominated while they were there, scoring their opponents 12-2. So
talked to Coach Stewart prior to tonight's game, and he thought that the 2 games they played in Kamloops were the best 2 games they played all year.
Yeah, they loved that large ice surface. I know our rink is larger than the other teams in the division, but that was Olympic ice, and the Dynamiters ate it up. They loved it. And especially when you're playing a team like the Wranglers that are built for their tiny barn.
Right.
To all of a sudden play on almost twice the size ice it might have felt like for them.
And the Dynamiters are built for a large ice surface. Yeah. We have the largest ice surface in the conference, like you said, or at least in the division, and they're built for that with speed.
Yeah. Yeah.
The other thing I like about the way the Dynamiters are built is physical. They're not an overly large team. They're good size, but they're not a big team. I think the biggest player...
They're bigger than they used to be.
Yes, and you've got Lucas Chilton and Brady Daniels and Spencer Kennedy when he plays.
Yeah.
3 big boys that don't mind giving and receiving the odd hit.
I would add in Coran and McElwain as well to that list of players.
Yeah,
so
but
there's more players than seasons before that are willing to take a hit
right.
and deliver hits. Yeah.
And they go into the corners, and they don't mind getting there first and taking control. So that's a good thing. Yeah. Okay, so did you get a chance to meet any of the scouts when you were in Kamloops?
I did not talk to any scouts one-to-one, but I definitely saw some of the scouts talking to other players and other teams as well. So I think that was the whole goal. So
right.
Since the Dynamiters, they had that one game on Friday, there were, I think, about 4 to 5 scouts, maybe even 6, that talked to coaching staff and then talked to players after.
The Dynamiter players, yeah.
Yeah, which was really neat. What really sucked was having the last spot of the showcase on Saturday, because everyone wants to go home then.
Right.
So there was no scouts, there was no nothing. It was just like, here's my card, and people left.
Yeah.
So that was too bad, but it was really neat to see the players being contacted by scouts. Not sure what the offers were, if they're even interested.
I can't believe there's no offer. I can't believe there would be offers, but certainly something say, well, we want to see how you progress, and we enjoyed the way you played, yada yada yada, and we're going to keep an eye on you.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So it was neat. There was one player who was getting a lot of attention. That's Bear Hughes from Spokane.
The second leading scorer now.
Yes, but he has more goals scored than any other player. Something like 34 goals now in 32 games or something ridiculous like that. So the last player to do that for the Braves was Derek Ryan, according to their coach. So,
and the coach wouldn't be incorrect.
Never question the coach. So that was it was just interesting to see that buzz around there. But I will never ever go on the team bus ever again. I will drive myself.
What were the experiences like?
Oh, it was again, the experience was great, but I guess I'm so used to driving my family van when we go on road trips that I know when the vehicle's going to turn left or right or something. My body was not it's amazing. I used to ride a bus a lot as a kid, but
did you go Thursday night or Friday morning?
We left Friday morning.
Okay, so
bright and early, 7 o'clock.
Right.
The bus left, which was fine driving during the day. The drive back got really entertaining with the roads. Fernie had to travel the furthest,
right,
and they had to leave Saturday afternoon as well. But we then left the game after them.
Right.
Roads were horrendous. I think Fernie got through all right. The Rockies got home at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Really?
We got to Sicamous, and with the highway being closed, there were 2 accidents, one just before Revelstoke and then one in Golden. I think it was really neat to see how I guess Derek Stewart's role outside of just being behind the bench and making those decisions, to see the weight that was on his shoulders of, do we keep traveling,
yep,
or do we not?
Right.
And I totally think he made the right call, and looked for places in Sycamoose, but it was all booked up. So we had
Sycamoose is not a large metropolis.
No. So we had to go back to Salmon Arm to spend the night there.
Okay.
Which was great, but again, it was just a neat experience. It's one of these sides to sports that you forget about when you're not playing on the team.
Right.
Because the impact of travel, the meals that you have to eat out, staying in hotels, and all those things. It's just one of those. I forgot what this lifestyle.
You enjoyed the experience, but next time you're going to drive.
I'm driving myself.
Now, I understand that the Dynamite organization is applying for perhaps a showcase and perhaps the Cyclone Taylor. Do you have anything on what's happening with those two applications?
So surprisingly, we were supposed to hear the results or the pick for the Cyclone Taylor Cup, but we haven't heard yet.
Okay.
For 2020. It was supposed to be announced. The team applied, same with a couple of other teams in the division, Fernie, I think, being one of them.
I know Fernie had applied,
the Rockies as well. So I'm surprised we haven't heard yet, because it was supposed to be announced on December 31st. Haven't heard anything. Regarding the showcase, this year's showcase, Kamloops, Chase, and Sycamoose just decided to do it and told everyone to come.
Oh, okay.
Without the board of directors voting on it. So I don't know what's going to happen next year.
Well, the board would have to approve that for scheduling.
Yeah, no. So it sounds like it was. Yeah, I don't want to get too much into it, but it doesn't sound like it went through all those steps of approval that usually these things would go through.
And I think if you want to get something done, you might have to do that.
Yes. So this is where the showcase from the outside looked awesome, but on the inside, I do some volunteering around the league and social media and all these other kinds of things. There was a lot of moments. So I know the Dynamiters want to bring the showcase out here, and
if there is one,
which I think would be fantastic. The
Yep.
airport is only 20 minutes away. You can fly scouts in and out of there. We have two arenas here, but we can easily partner with Cranbrook.
With the Recplex or the old Cranbrook Memorial Arena. Yep.
Right. So I think there's a lot of potential and possibility to run it out of here and then share it between the two conferences and then split it between the divisions in those conferences as well. But so I don't know what's going to happen with the showcase. I think it's a fantastic idea. Wasn't necessarily a big fan of the time of the year for it, and it probably could have been managed a little bit better. But those are all growing pains of doing something for the first time.
I would agree with the time of the year. Perhaps you wanted it after the holiday season, so sometime mid-January before the playoffs really get underway, and every team has had basically 3/4 of the season to get prepared and playing their best hockey, presumably.
Yep.
I think that would be a good time to have it.
Which is when the prospects game used to be. Was in mid-January.
Yep.
So so I think there's some options to do with it. I think again the idea of it is great. It just needs to be fleshed out a little bit more.
Yep. 100%.
And I think that fleshed out might have happened if it went through more of a thorough vetting process instead of which I get committees are formed, but it just sounds like it was just that committee made the decision.
All right. Power rankings. Have you done those recently?
I haven't done power rankings, but I've done a ranking of our fan bases around the league, which that got a lot of attention because that goes right to the heart of all the fan bases to say these are the best fans in the league.
Well, let me just say that in my opinion, and I've only been at home games for the Dynamiters.
Yes. Well,
we have a very good fan base.
We do, and you're right though. So what I looked at was the social media followings for on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Right.
And then I also looked at average attendance. I picked four random attendances and averaged that out for what their attendance was. And then, because I like to know how much money teams make, I times their average attendance by their walk-up gate price.
Okay. And that has nothing to do with the total revenues because sponsorships are the biggest part of the hockey club. Anyway, go ahead.
So that's part of it. So then I kind of rank everyone according to what the highest number of followers were out of everyone on Facebook. So if the highest was 1,500, you would compare everyone to that 1,500 and get a percentage out of that.
Okay.
So after doing all that kind of stuff and looking at the attendance ranking, the Dynamiters did come out #1 with the fan following.
Okay.
Which I thought was cool. The Fernie Ghost Riders are #6. However, they have the largest conversion. And what I mean by conversion is how much of your social media following shows up to games. So you look at like your attendance versus that number, and it's like a whopping 88% of their social media following. Now, mind you, maybe not a lot of their fans are on social media versus the ones that follow them, right? There's a lot to consider there. But the Dynamiters is 39%.
Okay.
So it's really, for me, fascinating. So we kind of at opposite ends of the spectrum where the Dynamiters have the best overall following, but the Ghost Riders have the best turnout of their following.
Okay. Well, we have to get ready for the third period. Thank you very much, Josh Lockhart, Bloggers Blurb. Exciting and interesting as always.
As always.
Thanks for coming by.